So it looks like this is really it for Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez. Page 6 has reported that the two of them are going to be divorcing. Sources close to the star said that they have been separated since January, but they've been able to stay friends so there's no bad blood between them. Quote, they came to the decision together. They were having problems before January, but they wanted to remain best friends. Apparently, Dalton visited Ariana on the set of the movie Wicked in London, which was part of a last-ditch attempt to save their marriage, but sadly that didn't work out. It's been said that they've been really good friends throughout the entire process and that their friends and families have been trying to protect them, most likely from going through all the messy divorce drama. The speculation started over the weekend when Ariana was spotted at a tennis match without her diamond ring. She was photographed in the crowd at the Wimbledon men's singles final on Sunday, sitting between Andrew Garfield and Jonathan Bailey. She looked great with her honey blonde hair from the upcoming movie Wicked, and she was seen getting really into the match, reacting to moments by covering her mouth with her right hand. But of course, most people were focused on her left hand at the absence of her wedding ring. Some people speculated that there could have been a simple explanation. Maybe it was getting serviced or cleaned, or maybe even upgraded. Either way, it seems like everyone was wondering what was really going on and whether or not that was a sign of some kind of trouble in their relationship. On Twitter, someone wrote, "I'm sorry, I'm not really trying to start anything. I just want to know, anyone else noticed the ring finger has no ring?" Another person wrote, "Anyone else noticed Ariana Grande hasn't been wearing her wedding ring?" This latest speculation comes several months after there were rumors going around that the two of them were nearing a breakup. What happened was Dalton deactivated his Instagram account after comments were made questioning his sexuality. For whatever reason, some fans decided to target him and claim that he was in fact gay. We don't know what these comments look like, but obviously they weren't made in a nice way. Most likely it was both homophobic and intended to bully him. So it's possible that he was just sick and tired of getting these kind of comments and wanted to get off social media for a while. This is all pretty upsetting though, given the fact that the couple have really tried to keep a low profile since they got married. Dalton does have his own Instagram account, but he set it to private shortly after news of their relationship became public. But what's really interesting is that this wasn't even the first round of divorce rumors. 1 year prior, Ariana posted a video doing her makeup while promoting her brand REM Beauty. But it wasn't the makeup that caught everyone's attention, it was the fact that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. If she didn't address it, fans would most likely jump to all kinds of conclusions and assume that something was going on. Thankfully she did, because she already knew exactly what the internet would say when they didn't spot her wedding ring. She said, "I'm just not wearing my ring. It's getting cleaned. I'm not getting a divorce, so before you start, don't." Basically, she shut that idea down completely. Obviously, she's been in the spotlight long enough to know that even the smallest thing can cause a panic online. So it makes sense that the two of them are very adamant about privacy and keeping their life off of social media. Nearly 2 years after breaking off her engagement with Pete Davidson, Ariana was spotted kissing a mystery man out in LA, who was later confirmed to be Dalton. The couple began dating in January of 2020 and spent a lot of time together at Ariana's home in New York City. In December, after almost a year of dating, Ariana announced their engagement on Instagram. She posted photos of them along with shots of her engagement ring, and in the caption she wrote, "Forever and then some." Several months later, in May of 2021, the couple tied the knot in a small ceremony at their home. Apparently there were less than 20 guests and the nuptials were informal. There was no real ceremony, it was just a casual exchange of vows. Ariana later shared photos from their wedding on Instagram. At the time, an inside source spoke to People magazine and said, "They're a great fit together. Dalton's entirely unfazed by the scope of her celebrity, and it's very grounding for her. He's young but mature and knows what he wants out of life." So they really seem to be great together, which makes it all the more upsetting that they're now separating. So it looks like Sofia Vergara and her husband Joe Manganiello have separated and are divorcing after 7 years of marriage. The couple released a statement to Page 6 and said, "We have made the difficult decision to divorce. As two people that love and care for one another very much, we politely ask for respect of our privacy at this time, as we navigate this new phase of our lives." An inside source said, "Sofia and Joe have been growing apart for a while now and are taking some distance from each other to contemplate their future. Some fans have noticed that the two of them have not been seen together as often as they used to. Right now, Sofia is in Italy with her best friend celebrating her 51st birthday, and she recently posted a few sexy photos on Instagram. But people in her comments section were quick to call out Joe's absence and wondered if they were going through something in their relationship. Joe did post a birthday tribute to his wife on Instagram, but the message didn't seem overly warm or personal. He simply wrote "Happy birthday Sofia" in Spanish, and fans were questioning his post since he didn't refer to her as his love or his wife, and compared to his previous ones, it just seemed a little obligatory. Another source that spoke to Page 6 claimed that he was supposed to be there with her in Italy, but he never ended up going. Quote, "At the start of Sofia's big birthday trip, those close to her were explaining away Joe's absence, with the excuse excuse that he was busy filming back on the East Coast. That excuse barely held up due to the writer's strike, but once the actor's strike took effect, he could have been on the first flight, and he quite clearly is not. So now no one out there with her is even attempting to pretend that it's not over. It is over, it's done. While it's not unusual for a couple to grow apart over the years, these two were definitely a fan favorite. They married in a lavish Palm Beach ceremony in 2015 in front of 400 guests, including almost all of the cast of Modern Family. So Ariel Winter, Ed O'Neill, Eric Stonestreet, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Julie Bowen, Sarah Hyland, and Ty Burrell. As for Joe, his co-stars from True Blood were also there. People like Anna Paquin and Stephen Moyer. Other celebrities were also in attendance, including Reese Witherspoon and Channing Tatum. So it was just such an amazing guest list. Sophia and Joe met for the first time through Jesse Tyler Ferguson at the White House Correspondents Association dinner back in 2014, and there was instant chemistry between the two of them. In fact, it was so strong that Sophia broke off her engagement to a businessman called Nick Loeb, who she was seeing at the time. Apparently, Joe asked for her number a few weeks later when she split up with Nick. He told People magazine in 2020 that he knew pretty quickly that he could trust her, and she knew pretty quickly that she could trust him. He said they're both the kind of people who are capable of putting the other person ahead of themselves. He was capable of putting her wishes ahead of his own, whatever they were, and she was capable of doing the same. In his opinion, once you have that, you don't let go of it. So it's really sad to see that they have decided to go their separate ways. Okay, so let's talk about the most shocking news to come out of the weekend. The fact that Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn have allegedly broken up after 6 years together. Entertainment Tonight reported on Saturday that the two of them quietly split up a few weeks ago. So let's see if we can answer the question that everyone's asking. Who broke up with who? Well, according to an inside source close to Taylor, the split was amicable and it was not very dramatic. They said the relationship had just run its course. It's why Joe hasn't been spotted at any shows. While this does make sense, fans have done a little bit of digging and they've now come up with a few theories about what really happened. They think one of the songs they wrote together may have been about their own relationship and could hint at the reason for their split. Hours after the news broke, a video surfaced online of Taylor crying while performing the song Champagne Problems. She wore a red gown and played piano while she was singing the lyrics, "She would have made such a lovely bride. What a shame she's effed in the head," they said, "but you'll find the real thing instead. She'll patch up your tapestry that I shred." The song is about a man proposing to a woman and getting turned down. It tells the story of a couple who deal with a failed proposal. It tells a story of a couple who've dealt with this failed proposal even though their family members have already popped the champagne in celebration. At the time, Taylor and Joe were dealing with engagement rumors, so some people feel that Champagne Problems tells a story about the demise of their own relationship. Fans speculated that they ended things because he really wanted to get married and she didn't. There's also the idea that her song Midnight Rain is about him too. The lyrics describe Taylor leaving behind the comfort of a healthy relationship to avoid settling for something less. She sings, "He wanted a bride, I was making my own name, chasing that fame, he stayed the same, all of me changed like midnight." She goes on to sing about an ex-boyfriend who was a little too perfect, so much so that she decided to end the relationship to focus on her own career instead. Of course, because of the timing, she was most likely talking about someone like Tom Hiddleston, who she dated for 3 months earlier on in her career. But some people think it also applied to her relationship with Joe. Even though there are a million different fan theories circulating around the internet, it's important to note that neither of them have actually come out and confirmed their breakup, although it's no wonder that people are genuinely shocked. Just a few weeks ago, it was reported that Joe was traveling with Taylor on her Eras tour, and he planned to be at a few of her concerts. Not only that, but the two of them have worked very hard to keep most of their relationship private. Over the years, they've had to deal with countless rumors that they secretly got engaged and married on the down low. This speculation reached new heights when Taylor was seen with a large ring on her finger in the documentary Miss Americana. With the release of Lover in 2019, this theory was absolutely everywhere. Joe eventually spoke out about this in an interview with WSJ magazine. He said, "If I had a pound for every time I think I've been told I've been engaged, then I'd have a pound of coins. I mean, the truth is, if the answer was yes, I wouldn't say. If the answer was no, I still wouldn't say." For her part, Taylor addressed the speculation in her song Lavender Haze. The track is filled with feminist symbolism and explores her feelings about being not only a woman in a heteronormative relationship, but also being famous on top of that. She sings about the never-ending speculation that she and Joe are engaged, secretly married, or planning to have children. The lyrics say, "They keep asking me if I'm going to be your bride. The only kind of girl they see is a one night or a wife. When speaking about the inspiration behind that song, she said, "When you're in the lavender haze, you'll do anything to stay there and not let people bring you off that cloud. I think that a lot of people have to deal with this now, not just like public figures, because we live in the era of social media, and if the world finds out you're in love with somebody, they're going to weigh in on it." She explained that she and Joe have had to dodge weird rumors, tabloid stuff, and they just ignore it. So lavender haze is about the act of ignoring that stuff to protect the real thing. Apart from keeping their relationship private, they also seem to be very good at supporting each other's careers. They even started collaborating on music together over the pandemic. And apparently Joe wrote several songs under the pseudonym William Bowery. So many of these were featured in Folklore and Evermore, and those albums were hugely successful. Folklore ended up taking home the 2021 Grammy for Album of the Year, and Evermore was nominated for the same award at the 2022 ceremony. During her acceptance speech, Taylor gave him a shout out. She said, "Joe is the first person that I play every single song that I write, and I had the best time writing songs with you in quarantine." The actor is credited as a co-writer on the songs Betty, Exile, Champagne Problems, Coney Island, and Evermore. So they obviously had a great relationship if they could create music like that together. Even though most fans were upset at the idea of them splitting up, others are a little more optimistic about the whole thing. Because if it's really true, that means we'll be getting some pretty amazing breakup songs in the next couple of months. So I'll make sure to keep you guys updated as this story unfolds. Okay, if you've been on TikTok recently, you might have seen a few videos alleging that Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney is having an affair with Top Gun actor Glenn Powell. The two of them are currently filming a romantic comedy in Australia, and some people believe that they're doing a little more than filming. Photos and videos of them together started to make their way across the internet, and from there things started to spiral out of control. Glenn's girlfriend then unfollowed Sydney on Instagram, so that's when we started to suspect that there might be a little truth to these rumors. And now we've just found out that she actually broke up with him. Gigi Paris posted a video of herself on Instagram. She was looking happy while walking alone in the street. In the caption she wrote, "Know your worth and on to the next." So to a lot of people, that was confirmation that Glenn did in fact do her dirty. Right away her comment section was flooded with women sending her messages of support and encouragement. It's actually very sweet just how many people flocked to her side. They wrote things like, "Good for you, you deserve better," and "Your world just got bigger." Of course, a lot of comments were dragging Sydney and Glenn as well. One person wrote, "We all saw the public disrespect, let alone what happened in private that we don't know. Onward and upward after taking out the trash. But whatever it may look like, we still don't know the whole truth." That's because an inside source that is close to the model has since denied the cheating allegations. They spoke to People magazine and said Gigi and Glenn had broken up several times. They had been on the rocks since Top Gun came out. Gigi was never happy with the long distance filming, and when she came to Australia, they both decided to break up for good. In March, he traveled to the film set in Sydney, but she returned to the US less than 2 weeks later. At the time, it was speculated that they had some kind of a fight, and she decided to fly back early. A second source then spoke to the magazine and said that there is absolutely no truth to the rumors. Quote, "Gigi only unfollowed Sydney on social media because she never followed her back. This has nothing to do with Glenn and Sydney. She is aware that they never hooked up. He takes his work very seriously, and it was tough on their relationship. They insisted that distance is actually what drove the couple apart, and it wasn't anything to do with infidelity. Gigi is busy modeling while Glenn is busy filming, so their schedules have just been taking them to different places." As for the romantic vibes on set, well, the source insisted that Sydney and Glenn are both just doing their job because they are actually filming a romantic comedy. Apparently they're friends and co-stars that met on set, so that kind of settles that. But why are these cheating rumors only getting louder and louder? People are now accusing Sydney of being a real-life Cassie Howard, and that says a lot. Part of the reason is because of the photos that she posted on Instagram a few days ago. There were 3 very interesting pictures of her getting cozy with Glenn. The two of them were wearing matching clothes and leaning into each other in a way that made it seem like they were a couple. I mean, if you didn't know that they were both taken, you would actually think that they were together. It's pretty clear that they are spending a lot of time together off set. And there was another set of photos that showed them going for a swim at the beach, and they were practically cuddling in the water. Again, they look like a couple. There was also a viral TikTok video that shows Glenn sweeping Sydney off her feet and dipping her backwards. In the clip, you can see that they're on the couch couch and he's supporting her back and dipping her down low as if they were dancing. The whole thing looks extremely romantic and it only added to everyone's suspicion. Then there was a red carpet interview where their body language was kind of flirtatious. In the clip, you can literally see the sexual tension between them. It's in everything from the long pauses to the eye contact. And as the interview goes on, they both get closer and closer to each other until they're almost pressed together. In fact, just from that video, people have decided that there is something going on between them. Yeah, there's obviously chemistry there, which is gonna translate really well on screen for a romantic comedy, but fans believe there is something more happening behind the scenes. The good news is that all this drama is going to be great for their new movie. There's no better marketing for a rom-com than a real-life cheating scandal. I mean, there were just so many in the 90s and early 2000s, especially when the genre was at its peak. On Monday, the co-stars attended CinemaCon to unveil the first footage from their movie, and the flirting continued on stage. While they were presenting, Glenn made a joke and said, "We love seeing ourselves on the big screen." In response, Sydney said, "Oh please, Top Gun," to which he responded by saying, "I love when she calls me that." The two of them had a lot of banter on stage. Glenn said, "As you could probably guess, this movie is about two people that hate each other. Sydney plays a character who is a real nightmare." And then Sydney calls his character a real a-hole. So they were definitely doing a great job selling the movie. So earlier this week, it was reported that Matty, Healy and Taylor Swift are well and truly over. And while neither of them has officially said anything about the breakup, Matty seemed to reference it on stage during one of the 1975 shows. One audience member was holding up a positive sign that said "You are loved." He seemed to be very appreciative of this message and responded by saying, "That was very kind of you. I'm sure that it's alluding to," but before he mentioned the breakup, his voice kind of trailed off. Then he said, "As you are aware, I'm not very online at the moment and I'm sure people have just been calling me a C-word relentlessly. I've not been online, but what I have been with is my boys. And honestly, as much as I appreciate that, it's so beautiful and I thank you, but I don't need it because I've got them." So he does have some awareness of the online discourse, though he's definitely chosen to stay away from it, obviously because most of the backlash is directed straight at him. But there were also reports coming out saying that the public scrutiny wasn't actually a factor in their breakup. One source told People magazine that Matty likes to provoke a response out of people. Quote, "Taylor's a grown woman, more than capable of forming her own opinions about people. No one forces her into anything, especially not these days. She's on top of the world." That source also made it clear that their relationship was always a casual one. He said, "They were never boyfriend-girlfriend or exclusive, and we're always just having fun. There is no drama, and who knows what could happen again. It was a good time and it ran its course." Another source then spoke to Page Six and said, "Taylor Swift's fleeting romance with Matty Healy was never anything serious, and we surely won't be getting any love songs out of it. So the story is that they broke up because they're both extremely busy and they just realized that they're not compatible with each other. Quote, "Taylor's friends want what's best for her and aren't shocked that their relationship fizzled out since she recently got out of a long-term relationship. Everyone who really knows her has been saying all along that this was just a fun, good time thing that would last as long as it lasted and it would be no big deal once it's done." In terms of the media frenzy surrounding Taylor and Matty, The Insider described the whole thing as stupid. They said she will not be writing albums about him because it was just a summer fling, insisting that Taylor can't have a good time with anyone without the press marrying her off to them. Quote, "She's allowed to let off some steam and sow her oats afterwards without people claiming first that she's head over heels. And then she's breaking up with the guy. It's not a breakup, it's a natural evolution of a little fun thing whose moment is over. So it's entirely possible that this wasn't anything more than just that." And judging from Matty's recent antics, it seems like he has well and truly moved on. The 1975 performed at Denmark's Northside Festival where he was seen making out with a male security guard. Footage from the concert shows him holding a bottle of alcohol in one of his hands, kneeling down in front of a smiling security guard and then asking him for a kiss. More than anything else, this moment was a sign that he is well and truly single. While he was with Taylor, he made it very clear that he would no longer be kissing fans in the audience out of respect for her. And now, even if he is still a little heartbroken, at least he has his friends that can pick up the pieces. In a profile for The New Yorker, Matty Healy explained that the band operates with a Wizard of Oz element. He said one of them needs a heart, one of them needs a brain, one of them needs this other thing, and they're all on the road together. Which sounds like they're very supportive of each other no matter what. Well, all things considered, Matty will probably come out of this more than okay.
First up, let's talk about Avril Lavigne breaking off her engagement to Mod Sun and apparently moving on quickly to Tyga. The two have broken up almost a year since they announced their engagement. A source revealed that the couple have been on and off for the past 2 months, but are no longer together as a couple. But it seems like not everybody was in on this news. A rep for Mod Sun shared to Billboard on Tuesday that they were together and engaged as of 3 days ago when Madsen left for tour. So if anything has changed, that's news to him. So far, neither Avril or Maud have made a public comment about the current status of their relationship. This comes as a surprise to fans of Maud, who've only just recently shared his love for his fiance. He said, "I have found such a partner in this world to go through the chaos that life gives you. I have found that person. I'm with a real grown woman who has gone through it all 10 times over, and she makes me a better person." This news hasn't made Madsen affect his current tour, who still has quite a few concert dates left. When Avril talked about Madsen also not too long ago, she said, "I knew we had a very strong connection, unstoppable connection, from the first week of writing and working together in the studio. Immediately, he made every day better. It was like I had known him forever. As time went on, things just kept getting better, and it felt incredibly natural." But as it seems, Avril's mind has changed since then. After 3 years with her boyfriend Maud, Avril seemed to find comfort in Tyga. But could this be something more than friendship? Avril was seen embracing the rapper Tyga in a parking lot just outside one of LA's most famous restaurants, Nobu. The two reportedly had a very intimate dinner where they definitely got very comfortable with each other after they were spotted leaving together in the same car. A source has reported that the two have been seen hanging out together a lot more frequently, but they have yet to confirm if this is romantic or not. This is all pretty shocking to fans, as Avril and Madsen were just seen together at the Grammys earlier this month, and they appeared to be quite happy together. These photos emerging seem to be the reason for Avril's rep to go forward by confirming to the media that she is no longer engaged. Considering she was spotted with Tyga just a day before the announcement, makes it clear she wanted to take control of the speculation. Tyga has yet to address the speculation that TMZ has come forward, saying the two are just very good friends, who have been for a long time, and it's nothing romantic. A source also added saying, "Avril and Tyga are genuinely friends and nothing more. There is absolutely no third party involved in the split. This comes in regards to the current infidelity rumors." So far, neither Madsen or Avril have let on to anything being different on their social media. With Maud still posting videos from his tour, it's hard to know exactly which way this is gonna go.